Hey there, Leo. Welcome to your reading. This is your ridiculous question reading. We are going to ask ridiculous questions in this reading. And so the first one is, what is the fastest way for you to get rich right now? And you have this investment card. It says, whatever you invest in today will flourish in the future. There you go. You also have this odd jobs card. It says, consider creating multiple sources of income, which I also think would be a good idea for you. Obviously, with investments and you being a fixed sign, we've had a lot of energy in Taurus, and I always tell people, with all this energy in Taurus, I would be super careful with investments because your Taurus does not really like get rich quick energy. Uranus is like get rich slow, which most people don't really want to hear that, right? Because most people want to get rich quick. But the trick with the Taurus energy is that really, if you kind of like do something that's planned, thought out, where you've done your research, then you will get rich relatively quickly. Most people are overnight successes, right? It's like one day you don't have $1 million and then the next day you do. So really, it does technically happen quickly, even though it could take years to get to that point. But Uranus and Taurus specifically, it has a focus on freedom. And Uranus and Taurus doesn't want us to do anything, that could potentially cause a problem, basically, right? So, why do you think we see like so many scams? There were like a bunch of crypto scams just a couple years ago when Uranus was in Taurus, when it entered into Taurus kind of, and then that continued. There's been a ton of scams since. So I would be, as far as investments are concerned, I would be either making sure that you're only investing enough that you can afford to lose, right, and be comfortable with, or I would make sure that every investment you make, you have a good reason why you're making the investment. And again, that is the trick with Uranus and Taurus. Uranus and Taurus wants us to take our time. It doesn't want us to, like when our cousin comes over and it's like, oh my God, you gotta invest in this new pizza coin. Probably a bad idea, right? But if you do your research and you understand why you're doing it and you are clear with the Queen of Swords as to why you are doing something, then the chances are it's going to be a good investment. I would still be super, super careful, right? I think that, kind of just doing your research is where it's at. And the Queen of Swords wants you to be clear as well as to why you're doing things. Now, that investment card could also be talking about your time. And I think that is a better investment because really you're only losing time. You're not like losing your shirt and your house and your car when you make a bad investment, right? When you invest time into something. But the Queen of Swords, again, wants us to be very clear. If we are investing time, the Queen of Swords wants us to have some sort of process that we follow where we say, okay, this is working or this is not working. So I would make sure you're clear. On top of that, you have the Justice card. Justice is an amazing card for doing exactly what I just said. Investing your time into something, pay attention to what works, what doesn't work, and double down on the stuff that's working with the Justice card. It's just that simple. As long as we pay attention and we do that and we take a neutral approach, the Justice card is all about being neutral, and it's about saying, like, I'm not going to assume that something is going to work. I'm going to test it. I'm going to experiment and I'm going to see what does work. Then, then if we do that, we will be very successful. My channel is case in point, right? My channel was stuck at like 40,000 for like 4 years, and people were growing very quickly past me. And literally, the only thing I did is I learned one new thing every single day on YouTube about YouTube, and I tried it. And the things that worked, I doubled down on. The things that didn't work, I kicked them to the curb, and I got rid of it, right? So, and again, I still constantly experiment. What do you think I'm doing right now with these ridiculous card readings, right? It's an experiment. I'm trying it. I'm seeing what happens. And after, I'm going to look at the results. I'm going to say, okay, yes, I'm going to do this again, or no, I'm not going to do this again. So I'm always experimenting, always trying new things. It literally takes 10 minutes a day as well. Some people, like I'm not spending hours and hours and hours coming up with an idea, right? Well, maybe I am. It's like, most of my ideas come to me in the shower. So, add up all the showers in a month and, maybe I get like 2 good ideas out of all the showers that I take in a month. And, there you go. So, again, it's like that much time is how much I spend on it, right? And also watching a video on YouTube, which I watch at triple speed anyway, all my YouTube videos. So, again, that's probably like maybe 10 minutes on a 30-minute video, right? And, again, it's not much time. And then I just try something, put it into practice. And I think that would be amazing for you here, Leo, based off this reading. You also have the Four of Wands. Four of Wands is a card of marriage, and I do actually feel like some of you could be attracting kind of like a person who is well off here. It could be a Gemini. You have Gemini twice here, and I'm pretty sure I said the same thing to Gemini in their readings. So if you're looking for love, it could be a Gemini or a person with Gemini in their chart. And again, I kind of get the feeling that you could be attracting a person where it's like you work together and or the two of you together, being together is kind of like the thing that improves your wealth here with the Four Wands, if you want love. I also feel that the Four Wands is about realizing that you have completed one stage, which comes up for you in every single reading. Really, I feel like this is the story of Leo here, is that you've completed one stage, and now it's time for you to take something like a new stage. It's time for you to grow something or evolve something, or it's time for you to realize that everything you've done up until today, the time that you're watching this video, has been teaching you like what to do in the next step. And I really feel that. I say that in all your readings because it's probably like the most important thing you could do. Yeah, with the Queen of Swords, you have the Knight of Pentacles. Yeah, time to get started on something new. Again, I always say, I don't care if you're 90 years old. I really do feel that Leo in particular is going to be doing something new. And again, even if you're 90, that doesn't mean you have to stop working, or it doesn't mean that you can't, you have this odd job card. It doesn't mean that you couldn't do something for fun, like a hobby where maybe you're sitting there in your old folks home knitting hats for babies that you sell on Etsy or something like that, right? So it's like there's a million things you could do. And I feel that the Knight of Pentacles is saying, get started on whatever your idea is. I think all you Leos have like ideas already about how you can improve your finances. But I also see the limitations here. It's like you're saying to yourself, I always make the joke about being 90, but it's like I really feel that's a limitation. It's like you could be saying I'm 30 or however old you are, and you could be thinking that you're too old, but I don't think you are, and you won't regret starting this, whatever it is. With the Justice card, you have the Eight of Swords. There's the limitation. Eight of Swords is only seeing one way of doing things when there are many. And Eight of Swords is also self-imposed restriction. So I feel like you have to set yourself free with this energy, for sure. With the Four of Wands, you have the Three Cups. Three Cups is a celebration and or celebrating something in your life and having fun. It's also like a reunion as well. I do feel like some of you, again, could be reuniting with like a past life person. This does not have to be love. This could be like a business partner, could just be a friend that gives you a good idea, something like that. But I feel like there could be a lot of benefits there. I also feel like there just could be benefits in you working with other people. And, again, obviously I would do that. Literally in your next row, which is going to represent, what are the animals trying to tell you here, Leo? If I can get this card. Sorry, this is a new table, and it's like a little bit slippery. You have this hummingbird spirit and this bee spirit. The bee card is all about kind of collaboration and working together with other people. So collaboration clearly would be a good idea for you with this energy. The hummingbird can represent having been on a long journey. So I think you've been on a long journey where you've been trying to improve things in your life. And the hummingbird kind of represents getting to the nectar, finally getting your rewards for the long journey that you've been on. And so I think that, number one, of course, it would be an amazing time for you to collaborate with other people. But other two, I think it's time for you to get your rewards in life. And so I feel like that hummingbird says you're like completing a journey. But it's almost like, again, like I said, it's like maybe up until this point, you've been learning a lot of life lessons or a lot of things about work with that Four of Wands. Four of Wands really is a finish line card. It says you have to like finish one thing, cross through the portal so you can celebrate on the other side. And you have two celebration cards here, Four of Wands and the Three of Cups. And I feel like this is also saying the same thing. It's like, yeah, the completion of your journey is you taking what you've learned and putting it into practice. So that's what I would do here, for sure. Next, you have this fox spirit. It says, think on your feet. I do feel it is time for you to kind of like think on your feet, think more creatively. Foxes are survivors, and no matter what is going on in the environment, they can adapt and survive. And so I think that a lot of you might be like worried about certain changes that are happening in the world. Like maybe you're worried about the economy, or maybe you're worried about, AI stealing your job and all this other stuff. And it's almost like this card is saying to me, like, okay, yes, that's true. Could totally happen. But also, I think you have all the talents, gifts, skills, and abilities necessary to adapt to the change. It's like, yes, maybe you're going to have to do something completely different, or maybe you're going to have to change up what you're doing. But I think if you adapt to those changes, you're going to be very successful. You have the lion spirit. It says, be generous of spirit. This is you, Leo, showing up here with this card. So I feel that you are kind of showing up in a position of power and strength. I always say whenever you show up as yourself in a reading, it puts you in a position of power and strength. I feel like there's like intense focus going on here, Leo. So I feel that you are very focused on what you want to accomplish, which is great. And I would like maintain your focus. I would keep being focused on accomplishing something. I also feel that you are kind of like putting yourself first more. I'm pretty sure we said this over your like past two readings or so that we've been, there's been a lot of stuff kind of showing up about you really deciding to put yourself first. And again, I think I really feel like that's what this is talking about. You have this wasp spirit. It says sometimes life stings. I don't really feel this is a sting. I think this is more a lesson that Leo has been learning about getting into a comfort zone and hoping that it stays comfortable and like not realizing that you have to continue to evolve. It's like, it kind of reminds me of YouTube. It's like YouTube is making, like, constantly makes changes, right? And some of them are good, some of them are bad. And like recently I've seen a bunch of YouTubers who are complaining about like the newest change, which is they're like promoting small channels more. So it's pretty much dropped everybody's views. But again, if all those people evolved, if they all did something different, or if they all were constantly experimenting, then they would find a way to get their views back up, right? And that's kind of how I feel about it. Like, I understand that it's frustrating when views drop, but it's like, what can you do about it? And I feel like that's what the wasp is saying in your reading. It's like saying that you're never really truly ever going to be able to get to the place where Leo probably wants to be, which is being a lion, right? Being able to be comfortable kind of, or, I'm not calling you lazy here, Leo, but, getting to this place where you don't have to always constantly be making changes or whatever. But I think that it can be fun, experimentation. It can be fun to, do different things or try different techniques and, learn new things. And I feel like this is saying, well, you're never really going to reach that level of comfort. And it's not like, this is not a bad thing. I don't want it to say like, oh, you're never going to be comfortable. That's not what it's saying. But it's saying like it's true that you are never going to be able to stop hunting. You are a lion, right? And as I always say, like one of my favorite people of all time, Eric Thomas, he says real lions like to hunt, right? And I think that's the energy that you need to embrace here. With the fox spirit, you have the Four of Pentacles. There you go. Four of Pentacles is holding on to the status quo. So needing to evolve, needing to adapt. I think that's what your animal spirit guides are trying to tell you here. With the lion, you have the Five of Pentacles. Yeah, again, Five of Pentacles says do not call attention to your weaknesses. I always say the fives have very easy solutions in the tarot. And the Five of Pentacles just says, again, don't, focus on your strengths. Don't call attention to your weaknesses. So I feel like you need to focus on the stuff that you're good at and move your energy away from the things that are no longer working. I do feel like a little bit of money fear here, although money looks really good for you. So, again, you might be worried about money, but things are actually going to be improving, especially if you, continue the hunt, right? With the wasp spirit, you have the King of Wands and the Two of Swords. Exactly what I said. Two of Swords is about seeing other ways of doing things. It's like, yeah, maybe you can't hunt in the same way that you used to here, Leo. And maybe you're going to have to develop new ways of kind of chasing down your prey, right? Being successful or finding love or whatever it is for you. But the King of Wands is a visionary. And I feel like you could be having some very visionary ideas right now. But the King of Wands is like saying, take action on those ideas. We even go up like this. Two of Wands to the Ace of Wands. Ace of Wands is out with the old, in with the new. So again, I think that there could be you could be having some very like futuristic ideas that could be setting you free. Next, we're going to look at what unusual skill should you learn right now. And you have new beginnings in this love card. So I feel that you need to learn to love the new beginnings. I think you need to learn to love, love learning new skills or new ways of doing things. But I do feel that there is a new beginning coming in for you in love. You end with the Lovers. You have the Knight of Cups here as well. So there definitely could be a positive change happening in your love life. These readings aren't really meant to be love readings, but I do feel it that there could be some sort of new beginning in your love life. You have the Six of Wands. Getting attention is going to be very important for you. You're a Leo. You love attention, so I feel that you getting attention is kind of what you need to do. It's kind of funny. I was talking to Christopher Witecki from Serious Joy, and we were talking about how, it's like I live in a family of Leos. Like, I'm a fish born with a bunch of cats. Like, how is that, right? But like I'm the one that gets the most attention, right, out of everybody in my family. out of all the Leos, right, in my family. And so it's like, it's kind of funny that, I'm not necessarily like, as a Pisces, I'm not necessarily the sign that should be getting attention. And it's like none of the Leos in my life get like a ton of attention. And so it's kind of funny that this is coming up. It's like saying that you are the sign that needs to get attention, or you are the one that maybe needs to learn how to get attention for the hard work that you do. And I feel like this could be talking about that. I think you need to look at the places where you hold your words back, where you don't speak up, or where you, kind of like don't stick up for yourself. I don't think that's the right way to put it, but, I'm almost getting something here on the Six of Wands where it's saying, there are things that you deserve in life, but it's like sometimes you have to go and get those things. And I feel like that's what this is saying. And I also feel like what the message I'm getting here is that there are like maybe moments in your life that you can look at where maybe you didn't speak up, or maybe you didn't, maybe you didn't defend yourself or something like that. And I think if you look at those moments where you didn't speak up or you didn't share something, those are the moments that are going to like teach you how to do it in the future so that you can get what you want. And I really feel that's what it's saying. You have the Two of Wands. I really do feel Leos are going to be doing something very different in their life, even if you're doing the same thing. It's like maybe you have a business. I'm not saying you're going to necessarily end that business or never do that business again. But what I do feel is that you are going to be doing it maybe in a different way, or you're going to be presenting what you do in a different way. And the Two of Wands is all about kind of like getting out into the world, leaving a comfort zone, and learning how to do things in a new way. He is standing at the top of his castle, and this is a comfort zone for him. He has learned, he's basically done things the same way for too long, and now he needs to like get out into the world and do things in a different way. You have the King of Cups. The King of Cups is a knight in shining, or sorry, the Knight of Cups. Knight of Cups is a knight in shining armor. So I do feel that some of you could be learning love, but I also feel really what the Knight of Cups is saying is that he is standing in the desert. He has water flowing in front of him. And I feel like the skill that you could be learning is that even when it looks like there are no resources, right, that you need to get started on your dreams, or you need to create something anyway, because if he were to plant seeds in front of that water there, they would grow, even though he's in the desert. So it kind of says that I think some of you need to, it's about learning to trust your intuition. It's like your intuition is telling you one thing, and then I feel like the real world is telling you something completely different. Your intuition is saying, go start that business, go start that, computer company or whatever. And the real world is saying, yeah, but AI exists, and AI is going to ruin your business before you get started. And so but what I feel like this is saying is if you were to start that business or whatever, it would actually be very successful. And, it's almost like you're needing to trust your divine inspiration, right? And because it's leading you to something. So, but I think the problem that I'm trying to spit out here for you, Leo, is that there's no evidence that something is going to work, right? And maybe that's the challenge for you. With the Six of Wands, you have the Ace of Cups. Love looks really good. Again, this was not meant to be a love reading, but, clearly we have all this. And the Four of Wands, Three of Cups. I do feel like some of you could be attracting love into your life. Sometimes I also feel that what the readings are kind of like saying is that you could be attracting a person into your life, or maybe you already have this person in your life who is teaching you all these lessons, so pay attention to that. With the Two of Wands, you have the Strength card here. Yeah, you show up twice right here, which puts you in a position of power and strength and really allows you to get what you want from the reading. And with you can't make this up. With the Knight of Cups, you have the Six of Pentacles. Six of Pentacles is my card of planting seeds. And seeing what works, seeing what doesn't. So I feel like that's what you need to do here for sure. Next, we're going to look at what breakthrough are you closest to, but also farthest away from. Sometimes I think we have a breakthrough in our life. It's right in front of our face, but we don't see it. And so that's what we're going to talk about here. You have this card that says, bring love into the situation, all this love stuff. So again, this might not be love as in a person. This might be your heart or doing something that you do love. You have this card that says meditate and contemplate. There is something here about kind of like the spiritual in the real world. It's almost like I said, you have this divine inspiration, or you could be having divine inspirations right now. But again, the lower world, the real world, is telling you something completely different. And so I really feel you should meditate on that and kind of look into it and see what your self is trying to tell you, is what I feel like it's saying. You have the Ace of Wands, the Lovers, and the Nine of Swords. The Ace of Wands is, of course, out with the old, in with the new. So I feel like there could be some sort of new beginning. coming in for you, or you could be starting something new with the Ace of Wands. And, again, that could just be the breakthrough. It's like realizing that you can't do things the same way that you used to do them and that you have to evolve could be part of the breakthrough here. And I love the Ace of Wands, so really good. You have the Lovers. The Lovers could be love, and love could be a breakthrough for you, like I said. I would look at the people you're attracting and say, like, what are these people trying to tell me? Or are they trying to tell me, something different about my life? And the Lovers definitely could be kind of talking about that. So I would pay attention to that with the Lovers. The Lovers also is, traditionally it was a card of being at a crossroads and having a choice to make. And the Lovers could be saying that a breakthrough is coming through a new path that is opening up for you at this time. You also have the Nine of Swords, and the Nine of Swords is pretty simple. I think the Nine of Swords is saying that there's something that needs to change in your life. Nine of Swords is like a never-ending nightmare, but he's staying stuck in a comfort zone in the whole entire reading. And all your readings that I've ever done for you on this channel have pretty much said it's time to leave a comfort zone, or it's time to, kind of step into something new or different. With the Ace of Wands, you have the Three of Swords. This could be about healing, again, because we're talking about a breakthrough, and the Three of Swords is about forgiveness, and it's really about pulling those swords out of your own heart so that you can heal and move forward. So again, some of you could be healing. With the Lovers, you have the Hermit. I mean, this could be about opening up to love. So if you've been in hermit mode, or if you haven't been socializing, this doesn't even have to necessarily be love. Like I said, this could be just you needing to get out into your community, you needing to socialize, and also the Hermit could say it's time to speak up. The Hermit normally has his star in his lantern, and he needs to shine his inner light, but he's not. He just has that star in the lantern, and he's kind of keeping it stuck in the lantern. So I feel like it's time for you to like shine your inner light here. With the Nine of Swords, you have the Two of Pentacles. Two of Pentacles like work hard, play hard, and so I do feel it would be a good time for you to not only focus on work. I think you should be doing some other things as well. I also feel that there could be a lot of opportunities for Leo to turn something that is fun for them into work, into something that you enjoy doing, something that you could do all day long and never get sick of. I also feel like you have a lot of knowledge that you could be sharing. So again, if you're thinking about like starting a podcast, a YouTube, or teaching classes, or something like that, now might be a really good time for you to do that here. But this looks really good, Leo. I love where this is going. So thank you for being here, and definitely enjoy your month.